At some point in your life, everything suddenly loses its meaning. Sometimes it happens even when nothing seems to be going wrong. You might have a good job, maybe a partner by your side. On social media, you might be considered successful. And yet, one morning you wake up and the silence inside you is deafening. From the outside, everything looks fine, but inside there's an emptiness you can't quite describe. It sits on your chest like a weight you can't name. You can't find anything worth doing. Sure, there are countless ways to distract yourself, but your soul refuses to follow. Some call it loneliness. Others brush it off as depression. But this is something else entirely. It's an existential collapse. It's not knowing who you are, why you're here, or where you're going. That emptiness inside keeps whispering the same thing to you. Is this it? You worked for years, fought to look strong, to stand tall, and this is where you've ended up? The emptiness shuts you down. You no longer feel like telling anyone anything because even if you tried, you know they wouldn't understand. At some point, the words run out. All that's left are the nights and the thoughts in your head. At this point, people usually split into two groups. Some try to suppress the emptiness. New goals, new relationships, more entertainment. But that's just painting over the walls. The foundation keeps rotting away. Others simply accept it and slowly collapse. But there is a third way, the hard way, the painful way, but the only way that truly sets you free. Look inward, really see the emptiness, step into it. This video is about that third path, about how to stand tall in the middle of the void, and how to rebuild yourself inside that darkness through the eyes of the Stoics. Because feeling this emptiness is not a weakness, it's a signal, a call to return to your real self. When talking about the feeling of emptiness, most people look for the source of their inner restlessness in the outside world. Maybe you broke up with someone you loved. Maybe your job started to feel meaningless. Maybe life hit you with blows you didn't deserve. And at some point you find yourself saying, "Tate, something is missing inside me." What does the modern world suggest? Go shopping, set a new goal, meet someone new, work on yourself, or the easiest of all, try to forget. But Stoicism approaches this from a completely different angle. It doesn't say the problem isn't you. In fact, it tells you something painful but restorative. Yes, the problem is you, and that's a good thing. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man in the world. Yet at night he wrote in a journal, sentences no one else would see, because he felt it too. Emptiness, loneliness, the search for meaning. And he wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good." That's exactly what Stoicism says: goodness, peace, meaning. They're not out there. They don't come from status, partners, titles, or awards. Because you were not born incomplete. You simply drifted away from yourself. The emptiness you feel is not something being stolen from you. It's you turning your back on your own nature. Stoicism doesn't try to fill this void with shallow motivational quotes. Instead, it shakes you awake, like splashing cold water on your face. It says, look, this is your life, and you have one responsibility. Build a life that is consistent, simple, and honorable, aligned with your true nature. But to do this, you must first become quiet, turn off the screens, be alone with yourself, and ask the brave question, when did I start betraying myself? That is the first step Stoicism takes against emptiness. Face it. Look at yourself honestly, not with lies, but with truth. Not, I'm not good enough, but I haven't been honest enough with myself for a long time. The second step, choose simplicity. The modern mind is addicted to clutter, thousands of stimuli, goals, and suggestions. But the Stoic view says true satisfaction is hidden in having less. Let go of everything unnecessary. You don't need anyone to applaud you, just be consistent. Stay loyal to your own values, because that emptiness isn't formed by what the world has denied you. It's built from the compromises you've made with yourself. And the third step, action. Just thinking, writing, or trying to understand is not enough. Stoicism is not a passive philosophy. It asks you to take small but meaningful steps every single day. Keep a promise, confront a fear, confess a lie, abandon a laziness. From the outside, these acts may seem small, but inside they feed you. The emptiness may never vanish completely, but within it, you build something solid. The outside world may stay the same, but when you change, the meaning of everything changes with you. Stoicism doesn't promise you'll never feel empty again. It says, the emptiness will no longer destroy you, because you will no longer be someone who drifts inside it. You will be someone who walks through it. Let's be honest. The emptiness you feel inside didn't appear overnight. It's the result of years of small leaks, neglected values, and suppressed emotions. And maybe you brushed it off by saying, something's missing. But the time for running away is over. Here's the truth. The cause of that emptiness isn't out in the world. It's not loneliness. It's not career struggles, and it's not even trauma. Yes, those things can trigger it. But that bottomless feeling, that swallowing silence, comes from losing your connection to the things that make you you. Turn inward and think. When was the last time you lived as yourself? When was the last time you said yes or no purely because you felt it in your heart? When was the last time you did something simply because it was right, not because it benefited you? Maybe you've been smiling for years but not sincerely. Maybe you're in relationships that drain you but you stay just to avoid being alone. Maybe your job makes you feel meaningless but you act as if you have no other choice. This is how emptiness begins. With a small silence, a couple of compromises, a delay, a swallowed word, a forget it, it's not worth it. And over time you become a stranger to yourself. One morning you look in the mirror and you don't recognize who's staring back. The expressions on your face are the same, but the voice inside you is gone. Because you've given up on being yourself. The Stoics are crystal clear about this. Your true nature is a soul created to live with virtue, and that soul becomes restless the moment you drift away from it. Epictetus put it this way: it's not what happens to you, but how you think about it that hurts you. But pay attention. This thinking isn't the shallow kind of positive thinking. It's the deep inner tension that surfaces when you live in conflict with your own values. You tell yourself, I'm worthy, but you keep diminishing yourself to win someone's approval. You say, I'm independent, but you swallow your thoughts just to be accepted. You claim, I'm strong, but you fall apart at the smallest emotion. That emptiness is the echo of these inner contradictions. There's still a part of you that says, I want to live rightly. But the more you silence that voice, the larger the emptiness grows. Because your soul never abandons you. It only goes quiet. And that silence shows up as emptiness. What does the Stoic approach do? It strips you of these false identities. It takes away your masks. And it asks, do you have the courage to face who you really are? Healing begins right there, not by fighting the emptiness, but by trying to understand it, by tracing it to its source, and finally by admitting to yourself, I have neglected myself for years. I have betrayed the voice inside me for years. And now, I want to return. That moment is the true beginning. The emptiness will still be there, but you will no longer be the one running from it. You will be the one who can sit with it, and in that moment your real strength begins to awaken. When you find yourself in that void, the first thing that usually pops into your head is, how do I get out of this? We want a quick fix, a way out, a magic formula, a phrase, a person, an experience, anything to make that dark feeling end as fast as possible. But let me be clear, there's no shortcut out of the void. Because that void isn't a destination, it's a passage, and you can't transform yourself without going through it. This is where Stoicism steps in. But it doesn't hand you gold-plated quotes, it simply says the first step is to be honest with yourself. Sounds simple, right? Yet most people never take that step in their entire life. Because honesty means dropping the excuses, it means not lying to yourself. It means naming the thing that quietly eats away at you at night. Epictetus says the beginning of liberation is admitting your ignorance. That is, being able to say, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm tired. And I can't go on like this. This is where real change begins. The second step is simplification, cleansing your life from everything that fills the void. Desires you've accumulated but that aren't truly yours. Poses you hold just to look good to others. Identities that appear strong but are rotten inside. All of it has pulled you away from yourself. Now it's time to let it go. This simplification isn't just physical. It's a mental detox. Clearing space for your inner voice by reducing outside noise. Marcus Aurelius says, simplicity is the glory of character. And yes, sometimes the greatest revolution begins with letting go of the excess. The third step is action. Here's where people stumble again. They think they'll escape spiritual voids with big decisions, radical changes, quitting everything, starting a new life. But Stoicism says take just one right step and take it today. Today, do one thing properly. Keep one promise. Break one habit. Face one fear. Speak honestly to someone. Stop procrastinating. Silence one excuse. No one might clap for you. But the structure within you will be rebuilt with these small stones. Every day you take a step, the void might still be there, but it can't swallow you anymore. Because now, you've moved. You're not a victim, not a wanderer, you're a warrior. Remember, the end of this path isn't being happy. The end is being whole, being at peace with yourself. The void inside isn't carrying you. You're carrying it. You're not collapsing into it. You're building within it. The void may never fully disappear, but you can live strong alongside it. And maybe one day, that void becomes not pain, but a companion that gives your life meaning. This is the Stoic way, not flashy, but honorable and real. Life is often a silent battlefield. The storms raging inside rarely show on the outside. The greatest struggles usually happen within your own mind, inside your own thoughts. In those moments, you need a guiding word, a sentence, a spark of hope. Because words aren't just tools for communication, they're maps of our inner world, the foundations that make us who we are. Your thoughts take shape and what you say comes to life. What you tell yourself is the strongest reflection of who you are. That's why if you want to fill the void inside you, you first have to take ownership of your words. You can guide yourself with strong, meaningful phrases. Remember, the void is the deepest form of searching for meaning. That emptiness inside often comes from feeling directionless or from not being able to find your own words. How and what you say in life is just as important as what you experience. Being honest with yourself is the start of the journey. Listen to that inner voice, hear it, but don't pity yourself. Saying I'm struggling isn't weakness, it's courage itself. Sometimes a person's strongest state emerges in their most fragile moments. Seeing and accepting your own weaknesses is the first step toward transformation. Then feed that inner voice with meaningful sentences. Choose words that give you hope, words that fuel your drive to fight. Don't just say them once. Repeat them throughout the day and ingrain them into your heart. This new map of your thoughts is the key that will lead you out of your inner void. For example, you might tell yourself, "Every new day is a fresh start. The challenges I face make me stronger. I won't waste energy on what I can't control. I'll focus on myself." These phrases may seem simple, but their meaning is profound. Words reshape your mind and push you into action at the same time. The power of words only finds its true meaning when paired with action. Don't just say them. Take small steps in their light. Do something despite your fears. Push yourself. Go a little further. Change only comes through movement, and the starting point of that movement is the connection you create with your words. Remember, the void inside doesn't fill easily. Sometimes the darkness lasts long. Sometimes the path seems blocked. But your words become the lifeline that holds you in that darkness. Step by step, you walk toward the exit with that line to guide you. This journey takes patience. Don't expect instant results. Transforming your mind and heart takes time. But trust me, this path leads you to a deeper, truer strength. Creating words about the emptiness inside, giving them meaning, accepting them. That's the greatest door you open for yourself. Once you step through it, that void no longer frightens you. You're on a strong path to overcome it. When you carve a path for yourself with words, life's colors change. You don't get lost the way you used to. You walk in a world full of new meaning. You've transformed your inner world, and the outer world reflects that change. The words you choose move you forward. With each repetition, with each deep breath, your inner strength grows. This strength walks with you, protects you, and lights your way. In the end, the void may never fully disappear, but you won't get lost in it. With your words, you challenge it, give it meaning, and turn it into an opportunity. That's why in every difficulty you face, find your own words. Hold on to them, live them. And remember, a man's greatest power lies in his words. Loneliness is often a feeling that gnaws at you, even when there are people all around. Feeling invisible in a crowd, knowing no one understands what you're saying, or feeling like you can't share what's inside. These are the kinds of loneliness that wear a person down the most. But remember, loneliness starts with what you feel in your heart and grows in your mind. Most importantly, it's about how you handle that loneliness. Maybe you began this journey alone, just your thoughts, your fears, your inner world. But that doesn't mean you'll be alone forever. There are others who think like you, feel like you, who've gone through similar pain and found their way. They've walked the same path, faced the same voids. With one difference, they fought. They walked on despite the darkness inside them. And here's the crucial part. You don't have to walk alone anymore. You are part of a community, part of a path, and this path makes you stronger. Because there are people who think like you, who support you, who understand you. Sometimes loneliness means facing the unknown, being with yourself. But what comes after that is connection. When you're at peace with yourself, you can form more genuine bonds with others. Every blow you've taken along the journey has made you stronger. Every difficult moment has brought you a little closer to yourself. And the point you've reached now is this: you are no longer alone. You're surrounded by people with whom you can share your feelings, your fears, and your victories. What fills the void inside you is actually this togetherness. Remember, true strength isn't in being alone, it's in solidarity. You don't have to be alone to be strong. There are people by your side who complete you. And that sends this message. The void inside you may never fully disappear, but you learn to stand tall within it. And that strength shows itself in every part of your life. That's when you realize you're not really alone. This isn't the end of your Stoic journey. It's a new beginning. Life is always full of ups and downs. What matters is not being alone in the lows and rising together. Now you're right in the middle of that path, discovering your own strength, the power of solidarity and true freedom. You are no longer alone. Thank you for watching.